The pressure isn't in your head. It's in your bones, the kind that bends but never snaps, that aches but never surrenders. They told you it was too much, that you'd crack under the strain. But here's the secret. You're not breaking. You're compressing, like coal under the earth, turning into something harder, something unstoppable. And diamonds don't beg for the light. They refract it. You're not drowning. You're being baptized. Not in water, but in fire. The kind that burns away what doesn't belong and leaves only what's essential. The bills, the health scares, the relationships that drain more than they fill. None of it's random. It's the refiner's heat. And you're the gold that's coming out on the other side, shining bright like a diamond. They call it a burden. You call it leverage, because every ounce of pressure is just weight training for your soul. And when this season breaks, and it will, you'll look back and realize you weren't carrying a load. You were building a legacy, one representative at a time. The nights are the hardest, when your mind replays every worst-case scenario like a broken record, and your body hums with the kind of exhaustion that sleep can't touch. But here's what they don't tell you, those nights. They're not your enemy. They're your forging. The dark is where the steel is tempered. And you, my friend, are becoming blade. You think you're standing alone? Look again. The pressure is your witness. The thing that proves you're still here, still fighting, still choosing to stand when every instinct screams to collapse. And that's not weakness. That's the quiet roar of a warrior who knows. The battle isn't won by the one who never falls. It's won by the one who always gets back up. They told you to push harder. But what if the real strength isn't in the push? What if it's in the pause? The moment you stop muscling through and start strategizing. The pressure didn't come to destroy you. It came to reveal you. And what's being revealed isn't a victim. It's a strategist. You're not exhausted. You're recalibrating. Your body isn't failing you. It's communicating. Your mind isn't weak. It's upgrading. And that slow grind of responsibilities, it's not a curse. It's your curriculum. The universe doesn't give tests to the unprepared. It gives them to the chosen. The lie they sold you, that the outcome depends on you forcing your way through. The truth, the outcome depends on you navigating your way through. There's a difference between strain and strength. One burns you out. The other builds you unshakable. You're not slipping. You're learning where to place your weight, where to pull back, where to conserve your energy for the battles that matter. And that's not failure. That's wisdom. The kind that doesn't come from textbooks. It comes from surviving the pages no one else could turn. The pressure isn't here to break you. It's here to show you what you're made of. And what you're made of isn't glass. It's granite. Cold, hard, and unyielding. The kind of stuff they build monuments out of. So stand tall. You're not just enduring. You're becoming one. The pressure isn't your enemy. It's your ally. The thing that's forcing you to drop the dead weight, to streamline, to focus. Because when the storm hits, you don't have time for distractions. You only have time for what works. And right now, you're working. They see you struggling and call it weakness. You know better. It's not weakness. It's transformation. The messy, ugly, beautiful process of becoming someone who doesn't just survive the pressure, but commands it. And command is a language the weak will never understand. The old you would have collapsed by now. The new you're still standing. And not just standing. Observing. Adapting. Strategizing. That's not luck. That's evolution. The kind that doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the fire. The pressure is revealing your leverage. The places where you're stronger than you thought. The instincts you didn't know you had. The resilience you've been building without even realizing it. And that's not a coincidence. That's design. You were built for this. They thought the pressure would expose your limits. Instead, it's exposing theirs. Because while they're busy judging your struggle, you're busy mastering it. And mastery doesn't apologize. It dominates. The pressure isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're expanding. And expansion isn't pretty. It's raw. It's real. It's the kind of growth that leaves scars. And those scars, They're not flaws. They're proof that you're alive in ways others can only dream of. You're not lost. You're reorienting. The pressure isn't a maze. It's a map. One that's showing you exactly where you don't belong, where you won't compromise, and where you'll never let yourself be diminished again. And that map, it's priceless. The steadiness you're feeling isn't the absence of struggle. It's the presence of clarity, the kind that comes when you realize you don't have to control everything. You just have to command yourself. And that's a power no one can take from you. The pressure is teaching you the difference between effort and efficacy, between working hard and working smart. And that lesson, that's the one that separates the survivors from the thrivers. Guess which category you're in. You're not just enduring. You're refining. Every decision, every boundary, every no is a step toward the version of you that doesn't just handle the pressure, but harnesses it. And harnessing, that's how you turn struggles into superpowers. The pressure isn't random. It's intentional. A crucible designed to burn away what's holding you back and leave only what's essential. And what's essential isn't your comfort. It's your greatness. The kind that doesn't come from ease, but from enduring what others can't. You're not stuck. You're strategizing. The pressure isn't a wall. It's a filter. One that's separating the things that matter from the things that don't. And what's left? That's your foundation. The unshakable core that no storm can touch. The pattern is clear now. The pressure isn't here to destroy you. It's here to distill you, to strip away the distractions, the doubts, the old versions of yourself that no longer fit. And what's left isn't smaller. It's purer. It's stronger. It's you, unapologetic and unbroken. The pressure is revealing your instincts, the ones that know when to push, when to pause, when to protect what's yours. And those instincts, they're not just keeping you alive. They're preparing you to thrive in a world that didn't think you'd survive. The pressure isn't a punishment. It's a promotion. Your initiation into the ranks of those who don't just endure hardship, but transcend it. And transcendence, that's not a destination. It's a declaration. The pressure is your advantage. The thing that's forcing you to see the world as it really is, not as you wish it were. And that clarity, that's the difference between those who dream and those who do. You're not a dreamer. You're a doer. You're not being crushed. You're being compressed, like a spring coiled tight, ready to unleash the moment the pressure lifts. And when it does, you won't just bounce back. You'll explode forward. Because that's what happens when you refuse to break. The pressure is teaching you to move differently, to carry the weight without letting it distort your purpose. And that's not a burden. That's a superpower, the kind that doesn't need a cape. It just needs you. The advantage isn't in avoiding the pressure. It's in using it to sharpen your instincts, to strengthen your boundaries, to clarify your mission. And your mission isn't to survive. It's to dominate. The pressure isn't your enemy. It's your catalyst, the thing that's pushing you toward the edge of what you thought was possible. And that edge, it's not a cliff. It's a launch pad. The pressure isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're ready. Ready for the next level, the next challenge, the next version of yourself that doesn't just handle the weight, but wields it. And wielding, that's how empires are built. You're not at the end. You're at a checkpoint. The place where you pause, recalibrate, and decide what comes next. And what comes next isn't more struggle. It's more strategy, more focus, more power. The pressure is revealing your capacity, not just to endure, but to elevate. And elevation isn't about escaping the weight. It's about mastering it, about turning every ounce of resistance into momentum. The checkpoint isn't a stop. It's a shift. The moment you realize that the pressure isn't here to break you. It's here to remind you that you're stronger than your struggles, wiser than your wounds, and more powerful than your past. The pressure is your initiation, the thing that separates the ones who fold from the ones who rise. And you're not just rising, you're soaring. The pressure didn't break you. It built you into someone who doesn't just survive the storm, but commands it. And command isn't about control. It's about confidence. The unshakable knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. You're not just standing. You're standing taller, not because the pressure is gone, but because you've learned to carry it differently. And that's not endurance. That's evolution. The rise isn't about escaping the pressure. It's about transcending it, about turning every challenge into a stepping stone, every setback into a setup, and every moment of doubt into fuel. The pressure was never the problem. The problem was the lie that you had to handle it alone. But you're not alone. You're armed with wisdom, with resilience, with the unshakable knowledge that you are more than what you're facing. And that's how you win. The pressure was the fire. You were the steel. And now you're not just unbroken. You're unstoppable. A force of nature. A living testament to what happens when you refuse to let the weight define you. Instead, you let it refine you. And refinement, that's how legends are made. They didn't just want to break you. They wanted to erase you, to scrub your defiance from the record, to rewrite your story as a cautionary tale. But here's the joke. Erasure requires cooperation. And you're not the type to play along. You're the type to burn the script and write your own in the ashes. The chains they wrapped around you weren't just metal. They were narratives. You're not enough. You don't belong. You'll never win. But narratives are just stories, and stories can be rewritten, and you, my friend, are holding the pen. They thought they could control you with fear, but fear is a two-way street. And now they're the ones looking over their shoulders, wondering when the storm they created will come knocking. Spoiler, it's already at the door, and it's you. The system didn't fail you. It exposed you to your own power, to your own resilience, to the fact that you were never meant to fit into their box. You were meant to shatter it. And that shattering, that's not destruction, that's liberation. They wanted a puppet. They got a wildfire. And wildfires don't ask for permission. They don't follow scripts. They consume everything in their path, including the hands that tried to control them. So light the match. The show's about to begin. The moment you stopped begging for scraps was the moment you became dangerous. Because a man who no longer fears the system is a man the system can no longer control. And control, that's all they've ever had. Until now, they called you paranoid for seeing the strings. But paranoia isn't madness, it's awareness. And awareness, that's the first step to cutting those strings, one by one, until the only thing left is the puppeteer's scream. The pressure wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to distract you, to keep you so busy surviving, you'd never notice the cage. But you noticed. And now you're not just seeing the bars. You're bending them. They thought they could drown you in responsibility, in debt, in doubt. But water doesn't kill seeds. It makes them grow. And you're not just growing. You're erupting. The awakening isn't pretty. It's raw. It's ugly. It's the moment you realize you've been fighting the wrong enemy. And the real one has been laughing from the shadows. But here's the twist. The joke's over. And the punchline, they moved you like a pawn, sacrificing you for their games, their profits, their egos. But pawns can become queens. And queens don't just move, they dominate. Checkmate, assholes, the board was always yours. The rules were rigged, the game was fixed, and you were the variable they didn't account for. Because variables don't follow rules, they rewrite them. And the new rule, you win. They thought they could predict you, but prediction requires patterns. And you're not a pattern, you're a paradox. The thing that breaks every model, every algorithm, every illusion of control. And that's their nightmare. The reckoning isn't coming, it's here. And it's not a storm, it's a tsunami. The kind that doesn't just flood the system, it washes it away. They played God, you played chess. And chess isn't won by the one with the most pieces. It's won by the one who sees the endgame. And your endgame, it's not victory, it's annihilation. The masks are slipping. The corporations, the governments, the institutions, they're not faceless anymore. They're exposed. And exposure, that's the first step to extinction. They called you conspiratorial for questioning the narrative. But conspiracies aren't theories when the proof is bleeding through the cracks. And the proof, it's you. Still standing, still fighting, still winning. The unmasking isn't just about seeing them. It's about unleashing you. Because a man with nothing left to lose is a man who can no longer be controlled. And control, that's the only language they understand. The gloves are off, the rules are gone, and the only thing left is the truth. unfiltered, and unstoppable. And the truth, it's got your name on it. They thought they could hide behind laws, behind titles, behind money. But paper burns, titles fade, and money can't buy what you've earned. And what you've earned isn't freedom. It's vengeance. The rebellion isn't a scream. It's a whisper, the kind that slips into the cracks of their empire and dismantles it from the inside. And the best part, they'll never see it coming. They built the cage. You're holding the key, and the key isn't made of metal. It's made of awareness, the kind that turns every lock into a liability. The rebellion isn't about fighting the system. It's about outsmarting it, because systems can't handle chaos. And you're not just chaos. You're the architect of it. They wanted compliance. They got defiance. They wanted silence. They got a roar. And that roar, it's not just yours. It's the sound of every broken soul who finally realized the only way out is through. The rebellion isn't a movement. It's a mindset. The unshakable knowing that you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. And standing out isn't a crime. It's a revolution. The old world is burning. And you're not just watching the flames. You're fanning them, because some things don't deserve to be saved. They deserve to be replaced. They called you reckless for burning it down. But fire isn't destruction. It's purification. And what's left after the ashes. That's your kingdom. The new world isn't built on their rules. It's built on your refusal. To kneel. To beg. To compromise. And refusal, that's the foundation of empires. The new world isn't a place. It's a state of mind. The unapologetic belief that you are the author of your life, the architect of your destiny, and the executioner of their lies. The old world is dying. The new one is yours. And the best part, you don't have to wait for it. You get to build it, one defiant step at a time. Legacies aren't built on comfort. They're built on defiance, the kind that turns pain into power, struggle into strength, and victims into victors. And your legacy, it's just getting started. They tried to erase you, but erasure requires obedience. And you're not obedient. You're unstoppable. And unstoppable doesn't get forgotten. It gets remembered. The legacy isn't about fame. It's about impact. The ripple effect of a life that refused to be contained. And your ripples, they're about to become a tsunami. They thought they could silence you. But silence is just the space between words. And your words, they're about to become a manifesto. The legacy isn't what you leave behind. It's what you ignite. The fire in the eyes of those who come after you. The courage in the hearts of those who thought they were alone. And that fire, it's got your name on it. The final move isn't about winning. It's about rewriting. The rules. The narrative. The game itself. And the game, it's yours now. Play it like you mean it. They thought the story was over. But stories don't end with the villain's victory. They end with the hero's rise. And you're not just rising. You're soaring. The final move isn't a checkmate. It's a declaration that the old rules no longer apply, that the old systems no longer control you, and that the old you is gone. And the new you is unstoppable. The final move isn't about revenge. It's about justice. The kind that doesn't come from courts or kings, but from the unshakable knowledge that you are the author of your fate. And fate just got a rewrite. The final move is yours. And it's not an ending. It's a beginning. The first page of the story they never wanted you to tell. So tell it. Tell it loud. Tell it proud. And when they try to silence you, tell it louder. They laid the trap with promises, security, stability, a seat at the table. But traps only work if you don't see the strings. And you're not just seeing them, you're pulling them. And the puppeteer, he's about to meet his match. The trap wasn't meant to catch you. It was meant to contain you, to keep you small, predictable, manageable. But here's the joke. You were never meant to be managed. You were meant to manage them. And the management, it starts now. They thought the trap was foolproof. But foolproof requires fools. And you're not a fool. You're a wild card. The kind that turns their plans into chaos and their confidence into dust. The trap was never about you. It was about them. Their fear, their insecurity, their need to control what they couldn't understand. But understanding isn't required for destruction. And destruction, that's your specialty. They set the trap. You became the bait. kind that doesn't just escape, it consumes. And the hunter, he's about to learn what happens when the prey starts hunting back. The turning point wasn't a decision. It was a realization that the system wasn't just broken. It was rigged. And rigged games don't need players. They need arsonists. They thought you'd break under the pressure. But pressure doesn't break diamonds. It creates them. And you're not just a diamond. You're the entire mine. Deep, unyielding, and explosive. The turning point is the moment you stop asking for permission and start taking what's yours. And what's yours isn't just freedom. It's dominance. The kind that doesn't apologize, doesn't explain, and doesn't lose. They wanted you compliant. You gave them chaos. They wanted you silent. You gave them a roar. And that roar isn't just yours. It's the sound of every broken soul who finally realized the cage was never the problem. The key was, the turning point isn't a moment. It's a declaration that the old rules no longer apply, that the old you is gone, and that the new you is unstoppable.